This isolated beach behind me is where I'll be spending the next week with very limited gear. The only method I brought for food procurement is my pole spear. So let's get to it. So first things first, we gotta find a place to set up camp. I'm gonna head up here in the woods, show you guys what I brought with me. Hammock. All right, so we got fins, we got spear, got my inReach, and then a bunch of camera gear, dry bag for the camera gear, got my tarp, and my now empty Nalgene, and then really big knife and a pair of long pants. I did bring some water because water is very, very limited down here. It's pretty much non-existent actually. One more thing, I did bring a pullover, just a little hoodie. So I'm gonna try to do a hand drill friction fire. It's not my strong suit, but it's been very dry. And so I think I ought to be able to get one going. And there's a bunch of materials right here. Sea hibiscus. And we can make both the fireboard and the hand drill out of it. Stuff right here, the burlap comes off the coconut palms. Stuff is fantastic tinder. There we go. Woohoo! No water in it, but work for storage. We're gonna leave that one there for the next guy. Maybe Xander will come down here and find that. This little stopper right here is for refilling it. So when the water gets low, you just pull this, pour more salt water in here, it'll run down, and so the steam comes up and is forced down this. In theory, it's going to condense and run out the bottom as fresh water. Fingers crossed that it produces abundant water, but don't know, never tried before. So I think this is going to take a little bit to boil, so I'm just going to take a little walk down the beach. There's some tide pools down here that later on tonight, I don't remember the name of the snails, but there's some snails that'll come up on the rocks, and they're really good. You put them in the fire and just roast them. So we'll go down here, just kind of check it out a little bit, and then probably go back out after dark and see if we can't pick up a few, maybe find a lobster. This is sea purslane. It's really good. Oh my God! It's finally boiling. And we're getting water. Look at this. So since this thing seems to be working, I'll go ahead and explain what we've got going on here. So we've got a section of bamboo here, punched out the nodes, capped off the end, and then I've got a condenser tube coming out the other side. So the steam rises and it's forced down that tube, condenses back into water in that tube, drips in the cup. This little stop up here is for refilling it, if I ever get that far. It's definitely producing water, but we'll see how much water. So the sun set, and that means it's no-see-ums time, hence the long pants and the shirt. But the snails will be out about now, so we're gonna head down there and see if we can find some dinner. Dinner. So those things are going to start simmering. So this is what comes out. There's the foot down here, which is the meat, and then there's this tail back here, which is all the guts, which is fine to eat, but just kind of weirds me out a little bit. I don't really, not digging that part. But that's all good meat there. A lot of times you can just pull them right out, but these are being really obstinate. Snail foot. whelks. That's what they're called. I was thinking that I was just gonna not set the shelter or not set the tarp up tonight and just kind of sleep in the hammock, but starting to cloud up a little bit, so I'm gonna just go ahead and throw it up just to be safe. I don't think it's gonna rain that much, but there's iguanas around, and the iguanas should be laying eggs right now on the beach, so we might check out another spot in the morning, just kind of head over to another area that's got a lot more sand. This is mostly rock here, and the iguanas they like to dig their nests in the sand. So we'll go over there, maybe look for some tracks, see if we can find some iguana eggs, and I don't know, see what we get into. We might cut some arrow shafts, might maybe try to make a bow. Lots of fun stuff to do. Had better nights than that. Could have been a lot worse, but could have been a lot better too. So I got some coals left. That's good. We're camped right underneath an almond tree, and they're littered all over the ground. Not very big, but pretty good. Not bad. Got a fair bit of rain last night. Was able to catch a little bit and kind of replenish the water stock. Make it pretty good while without something to eat, but you're not going to make it very long without water in this country. Now that is not a bad view. So I'm gonna hike over the other side of this ridge here and just check out this other beach. Look for some iguana sign. Bunch of big sections of bamboo washed up. That could be very handy. There's some old sign there. You can see the drag marks from their tails, but nothing fresh, nothing from this morning. I gotta go find a baton. I'm going to try to split this thing and make planed down arrow shafts with it. So it might seem backwards to start with the arrow, but the reality is that the bow gets all the credit, but the arrow is really the hard part. And sometimes the bowstring as well can be a challenge, finding good material. Luckily we've got something called snake grass here, which makes a fantastic bowstring. Coconut's good. I'm thankful to have it. It's gonna get old real quick. I'm gonna have to get in the water at some point today and find some food. Too long to walk forward, you gotta walk backwards. Well, got us a triggerfish on the coals and some bamboo distilled water. See what it tastes like. No saltiness, tastes like bamboo. There's all sorts of wild fruit trees on this island, and this thing right here, which is some sort of locust. But you can pop these bean looking things open, and they've got this kind of powdery stuff in there, and it's really good. There's no flavor that I've ever tasted that I could compare that to. Put that in there, a little water, and warm it up. That's good stuff. I'm excited about that. That looks real good. That is perfect. There's a bunch of those little reef fish out there. Things like wrasse and like Spanish hogfish and stuff like that are, I mean, you can eat them, but they're mushy and just don't taste very good. These guys, on the other hand, are very good. Man, that was good. Let's try out this locust tea. Pretty good. I like it. Some junk's floating in it, but that's all right. Oh. One of you marine biologists out there should be able to tell me what makes these holes in this coral. My guess is that the coral forms around something organic, which then decomposes, but I don't know. If you know, let me know. Well, it's only about 7 o'clock, but I am whipped after not sleeping last night. I'm gonna hit the hay and hopefully get a little bit of sleep tonight. It seems to be significantly warmer tonight than it was last night. I got a little chilly last night and had to sleep with the rocks, but I got them heating up just in case. Anyway, I hope, fingers crossed, hope we get some sleep tonight, because I need it. I want to get out and explore some more of the reef tomorrow. Maybe see if we can find some lobsters or something. I'd like to get a snapper. There's some pretty good sized snapper in there, but we'll see. Good night. Good morning. I slept way better last night. Not great, but way better. What are we gonna do today? Make a bow? Find an iguana? Catch a fish? I don't know. Big surf this morning, this little beach. Got two things to accomplish today. The first one is to gather some harder firewood, because all the stuff that's available right around camp here is pretty soft. It burns good, but it burns up real fast. So I think right up this creek bottom, there's a hardwood tree that's dead and laying down. I think it's called tibbet, but it's very, very hard and should make some really good firewood. All right, let's go exploring. It looks like I can maybe see the top of a locust tree up here. So it'd be cool to be able to find some more of those things. And maybe find a papaya tree. There's papayas down here, but there's also mangoes, but the mangoes aren't in season right now. So this is one of the almond fruits, and you can eat these, but this one's not ripe. Hermit crabs don't seem to mind though. these hermit crabs are literally everywhere, all over the forest floor, and some of them get pretty big. This one's got a big claw right there, so you might think they'd be good to eat, and they probably would be, but they love to eat poop. So yeah, just gonna let this guy go about his business. Found something that could be useful. Not this particular piece. This, on the other hand, could be very useful. And also, there's a locust tree right here that's dropping, so we maybe can find some fresh fruits. And so I found some palms up the hill. Not sure what kind they are, but I don't know, the cabbage palms down around home, or up around home, have good edible hearts. And so I just wanted to see. Not bad. If you get too far down, they get kind of bitter, but this is good. Walking around today, exploring, I realized that if I had seen an iguana in a tree, I wouldn't have been able to do anything about it. So we're gonna make some cordage, because I think I should be able to snare one out of a tree if I can find a long pole. And conveniently enough, found a 2x4 washed up on the beach. But this stuff is called variegated snake grass. It's an introduced species, but it makes fantastic natural cordage. I've used a lot of different plant-based materials for cordage, and this is by far the best. It's the easiest to work with, it's the strongest I've ever used. You get these nice long fibers. more coconut. The surf's been pounding ever since this morning. It's just gotten worse as the wind picks up in the afternoon, so no fishing for me today. Maybe a vegetarian day, unless an iguana wanders into camp. Or might catch some land crabs tonight. Forgot about that. I made another little piece of cordage so that I can make myself a necklace. Found some little shells, pieces of coral and stuff down there on the beach. Bam! That would look the part. I was hoping to find a shark's tooth, but no luck on that. Maybe later. It finally dawned on me what these taste like. If you freeze dried like a custard or something, you'd have something similar to this. So the sun set, we'll get ready to head up the creek, or the draw here. Not much of a creek. See if I can find some crabs. Take the dry bag just in case we catch something. Have a place to put them. Look at that big old sucker. Shoot, a couple of those we'll be eating good. Yes! Another big one in this hole right here. That big old claw. There we go. Oh, that looks like a pretty good sized one. Got him. This one was just walking around on the ground. So I guess I probably just didn't wait late enough for them to come out of their burrows. So now we know. Crab claws tonight. You pop a claw off, throw it on the coals, turn the crab loose, and he'll bleep, pop another one out. Catch you next time. I know that might seem cruel to some of you, but crabs lose claws all the time. They're expendable. That's why they can pop another one out. Left him a claw so he can defend himself against would-be predators. Mmm. Crab claws. Oh no. Oh my God, that's good. Woo! That is flippin' amazing. So if I go out and do this again, I'll just pop their claws off right there, stick them back in the hole, or let them go right where they're at. Man, that is so good. That is flippin' good. That's the best survival food I've ever had. Big old fat nugget of steaming crab meat. Mm-hmm. Mm. Yeah. Hopefully that'll burn all night and hold some coals for the morning. It was very windy last night, and it does not sound like the surf has calmed down any. Might try to get out this morning before the wind kicks up. I have no idea what the weather's supposed to do as far as the wind goes. I'm gonna give it a try before it builds too much. That's what we're after right there. Heck yeah. Holy shit. That last 20 yards. Queen trigger, very good eating. So this is a black durgeon, looks a lot like a triggerfish. Their meat's a lot tougher, but they're pretty good. They're not bad. The dry season. Primitive oven. Check. Mm-hmm. Mighty fine. can see how much tougher the durgeon is than the triggerfish. But you can eat these leaves too, so just gonna make a wrap. Fish in a leaf. Not bad. Yes, I suck at open coconuts. But that's not the only thing I suck at. Been very lightheaded this afternoon and just wore out just dragging. I know that swim took a lot out of me, but I don't know. Figured I hadn't ate much fats, so coconut. So I figure I'll just keep this with me in my pocket, and if I happen to see an iguana in a tree, there's long straight poles everywhere. I just cut a pole, attach this to the end, and if he's low enough and calm enough, could just slip it right over his head, catch him. But I haven't seen any yet, so might not get a chance to try it out, but I have it just in case. Better safe than sorry. Good to be prepared. Just a piece of bamboo that I split off. Got a second wind. Gonna go for the bow. So I was chopping on this log and this gecko must have been in there somewhere. He just came scurrying out. It's a cute little guy. I've never seen one like that. We have geckos in Florida, but not this big. Super cute. Whoop. There he goes. Didn't like my company. Kind of a small or a thinner piece of bamboo, but it seems like it's going to make a heavier weight though. So I was poking around last night and looked down in a hole right over here, and there was an enormous crab in there. So he was down pretty deep, probably too deep to dig out with a stick, but I'm gonna put this sturgeon head in front of his hole, see if we can just kind of bait him out. He's right in that hole. Oh, there's an iguana. There's an iguana right there. Oh, God, it's getting dark. I'm gonna have to go back to camp and get my headlamp. He's like right here. The camera makes it look lighter than it is. Look at that. I cannot believe I got that thing with a freaking primitive snare. There's another one right over there that's absolutely enormous. 3 times the size of this one. That is freaking awesome. Look at that with the bowstring. That is cool. So I was over here putting this, trying to put this crab bait down, and I heard them in the vines over there, just a few yards away. Was able to run back to the camp and grab my headlamp and a bow. I just used the bow as, oh, there's a big crab right there. And there's food running around all over this place. I think this is a female. She looks like she's full of eggs. I'm not hungry right now. I've eaten plenty of fish today. I ate up half a coconut and all sorts of stuff. But I've still got 2 days here. So I think I'm just gonna clean my backpack out and stick her in my backpack for the time being. She'll be fine. I'll keep it in the shade and make sure she's got plenty of air. But if I don't eat her tomorrow, I'll just go ahead and turn her loose. I can see this crab in this hole. Let's see if I can get a snare around his claw. I wouldn't normally put this much effort into a single crab, but this, you got to see this thing. It is giant. Ho ho ho! Woo! Look at that! Look at that claw. Look at the size of my hand. I'm gonna borrow this from you, buddy. Oh, shit. Okay. Well, they do that too. Just pop this whole top of his carapace off. Alright, I guess we're gonna eat that whole one. I feel bad about that. I wasn't trying to kill him. I was just trying to pop that claw off, but it was so big that should have just had a better hold on him. I was just holding him by the carapace and just popped right off. Now I know. Tastes like crab. These things got some seriously robust shells. That was good. Look at the size of that claw. That is ginormous. Stuck to the shell. Alright guys, so I got my days mixed up. I'm hiking out of here tomorrow. I thought I had 2 more days here. So no need for the iguana. We're gonna go ahead and just turn her loose. It's alive! Now whip the hell out of you with that tail. Nope. She didn't like the tree idea. Yeah, I know they're introduced and invasive and all that stuff, but I don't know. They're pretty well naturalized, and I don't know that they really do any damage, so I didn't feel like killing her. I didn't need to, so she is one lucky iguana. That was a good day. Good day. And good night. And a beautiful morning it is. Let's go to the beach. I'm gonna miss walking out to this view every morning. And nobody else around. It's the best part. When I was on alone and we got a good, nice sunny morning, I'd walk down to the lake shore and sit and watch the waves. Didn't have coffee, but had Labrador tea. Pretty good substitute when you ain't got nothing else. watching the waves is kind of like watching a campfire. It's very similar feeling. I started on this bow yesterday with the idea that I still had another full day here, and I just about got it done. I think we can get it done here in just a few minutes. Just got to cut some knocks in it. So I like to have a lot of extra bowstring with these primitive strings because it not only gives you a place to pull when you're bracing the bow, but it also gives you extra material if you happen to break one. You've got all this extra stuff there. You can just splice it back together. And it looks kind of cool wrapped around the end of the bow like that. Kind of an Amazonian vibe. So these pieces that I split out of that big piece of bamboo turned out really nice, actually. From a proper rain. So this right here is the swim bladder out of one of those fish that I caught yesterday. We've got just a little tiny bit, maybe that much fresh water in my cup here. And we're gonna make some glue. So this is essentially making fish glue. People have been making glue like this for many, many thousands of years, and it's incredibly strong. You'd be surprised. I mean, this stuff is like, it's got some gripping power. And of course our pigeon wing fletchings. A little on the small side, but not bad. This glue is very, very hot. Alright, boys and girls, our bow, and I guess you could call it an arrow, is done. Let's go see if we can hit something with this thing on the coconut husk. Hit it, just didn't stick. I got to give a shout out to Matt and Carmen Cordino for lining this up. Matt was on season 8 of Alone with me, and he helped coordinate all of this stuff. And they actually do multi-day survival courses where they come stay down here. They've got a really cool primitive shelter about a mile from here. But if you're interested in coming out here and exploring these places and having a truly primal experience, hit them up and think about signing up for one of their classes. All right, boys and girls, that's gonna do it for this one. Actually, there's like 3 women that watch my channel. But we're down here for another week, so who knows? We might get a chance to go after some wild goats, maybe some iguanas. There's mongoose here, all sorts of stuff. So stay tuned. We'll see you on the next one.